We basically sat on the lounge for a couple of days and just sort of took turns of crying because we didn't know what was going to happen. And I was actually pretty angry because it should have been a really happy time for us, about to have the first bub. And I basically thought at that point that it was probably the end.
Because I was 8 months pregnant, emotions were high anyway. So I fell apart a little, to be honest. I didn't cope very well with the news at all.
I don't know if I ever initially realised the sort of magnitude of it. It was actually Kristy that saw the signs, so to speak. She noticed that a mole on my back looked like it had sort of changed colour, and so at that point I was basically booked in straight away for, I think they call it a bilateral lymph node dissection. So they just went in and removed everything.
We thought that the cancer was all gone. We were informed that it was. So we moved on with our life, and at that point we found out that we were going to have a baby.
We were at a friend's house in the country and we woke up and Kristy said, "Oh, what's that?" And it was like almost like a tiny marble just under the skin near the scar tissue. In my head, again, I suppose initially when they had said it had come back and essentially it was in the lung, and I knew what that meant without them using the words. I knew that meant that it was stage 4, and I just assumed that that was going to be it.
The only treatment option really was a trial drug that was coming up, and there was no guarantees with regards to whether it would work or not.
We always thought that he was a bit of an angel that had come to sort of help us. We almost took it as a sign that he was sort of here to help and distract us, because it was a really difficult time, and we wanted to be really happy, but it was just really hard. We started the trial in January. The first of the periodic scans, which was a CT and an MRI, was in April, or March or April, and already there was evidence that all the tumours had reduced by half. 6 months later, they'd reduced by half again, and by the 12-month mark where I got a PET scan, there was no evidence of any active cancer whatsoever. So, yeah, it was amazing.
This drug really changed our lives. It saved Adam's life, and it's changed us as a family for the better. Life is very precious. It's a gift, and we're very, very aware of that now after this experience. When we got married, Adam was receiving treatment, and so it was a very emotional wedding, to be honest.
The one thing that it's taught me is don't take life for granted, and basically do what you want, because ultimately you don't know what's around the corner. Even if we go for a walk down to the shop, I make sure that I'm covered in sunscreen. We make sure Harry's covered in sunscreen. He hates it. He doesn't understand the importance of it yet. It takes 5 minutes to put sunscreen on. So it's pretty easy to give yourself peace of mind that you don't have to go through the battle that we went through.